Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode number 10 of Chris and Desi's DUO-LOGUE. My name is Desi, this is Chris. And if you have subscribed to us already, you might have seen some of our previous episodes. If you haven't, please do so because we talk about all sorts of different topics. And today's one is no different. Prepare yourself. Car boot sale. It's on topic today because we've actually done two of those in the last two weekend days because it was a long holiday here, long weekend. So we're going to share our opinions of it, what we experienced. Over to you, Chris.
I've never done a car boot sale before. You have though, haven't you, Desi?
I have done one as a seller, but I have been to quite a few as a buyer. So it was a different experience when you are a seller to when you're a buyer. And I had only been a seller once before, and it was ages ago. So this was also new to me.
The reason I've had no experience of them is because I don't generally just go shopping anyway. And it's another place where you just go shopping. And because things are pound or £2 or at most three probably and 4 or 5, the rare things at £5, I'd come away with bags of stuff that I've just got to get rid of again. I'm into minimalisation really, and for me, if I own 1,000 things, that's probably my goal. And if you think about it, I've probably got 5,000 things in this flat alone, and it's not a big flat. And then I've got all the stuff in Hungary, so we've got to make a start at getting rid of stuff. Hence the reason why Desi suggested we do a car boot sale. I didn't really relish the experience, to be honest. Anyway, Desi said, yeah, let's go. We'll go to this local one. And she said, it's an early start, though. You've got to get there to set up at 6 a.m. So I'm cycling to Desi's at 5:30 in the morning. Fortunately, it's lighter that time of the day, but it was still chilly, 3 degrees or something, glove weather. Being on the bike, we turn up a little bit apprehensive and we don't know what we're doing, and so we get redirected to our pitch and begin opening all the stuff up and putting it on the. We felt a little bit unprepared because we didn't really have any tables and we didn't really have any change for people. A bit amateurish, really. But no sooner than we open the car doors, there's people floating around saying, "What you got? What you got? What you got?" There's people there. We thought there was buyers, but it's people there who are buyers probably, but they're there trying to have cherry pick of the best stuff. So
Yeah, there is this procedure where if you want to be there before the other buyers, you can pay another pound, and then you have early entrance together with all the sellers. And so you have early pickings of everything that these people like us arrive and open the boot, and what comes out?
yeah, we kind of got harassed getting stuff out, and people saying, "Well, can I leave it in your car and pay for it now?" And anyway, it was all a bit hurried, pretty chilly as well. So anyway, we got cracking and we got the stuff out. If you ever go to a shopping somewhere and there's a curio stall where they've got all sorts of weird bits and pieces, and that was us. And you never know what's going to get people's attention, but a lot of it did. The first day we made quite a lot because there was a lot more people there on the first day. Bank holiday Monday was pretty cold, and we started at 7, but it was all over by about 11. I was in shorts, and it wasn't shorts weather. We managed to survive, and then the car's still full of stuff, but we did manage to get rid of a lot. And my flat now, it's not looking uncluttered, but it feels less cluttered. I've got more than a 5 by 3 foot space on the floor.
What Chris means is that he kept from his mum's loft a lot of things that needed to be considered, whether to sell them, to who to sell them, where to sell them, what to do with them, and how much to ask for, because some of them were rarities or collectibles or very vintage kind of collections of things. So he's put them all together in his one bedroom, and now it was the time to start getting these things out in the air, out in the open, and finding a new home for them.
But
And so that's
is,
the reason why we needed to do a car boot sale.
the problem is, we haven't started on that stuff yet. So there's all sorts of bits and pieces, knickknacks, tools that my dad had. A pair of pliers, you would say, like it's a pair of pliers that you would never get today. These pliers are solid metal, well put together, crafted, and they're going to last. We're going to last you 50 years. Yeah, that's the type of product they were. They were there to last. Whereas today, you do something a bit odd with one of these tools, and it breaks in your hand. But these things are pure good workmanship goes into these things, and so
Yeah, so what we discovered is that all things made in the, what shall we say, the 70s and then the 80s have been getting more attention and more interest than the later one, the new things.
another thing that
Yeah,
went well was games. Because
yeah,
today's games are all made in China and they don't last, But these games, okay, the boxes may have been a bit battered and bruised or non-existent in some cases, but the games, like one guy, he bought battling tops. Now, if you've ever played battling top, it's 4 players, and you wind a bit of cord round your top, and you put it in a trigger and then pull it, and it spins the top and it goes off and it's fighting against the other 3 tops in there and they're whizzing round and they're hitting each other and when they hit themselves in a certain way they fly out of the ring and they've lost or they get crashed down and they're just spinning around on the ground. But this guy came back on the next day and he said, we've never had so much fun playing a game as we had playing battling tops last night. We just and if you had a drink as well, it's hilarious. It's the funniest game. You can't do that on a computer screen. A lot of these games went well. They went really well. But the problem with all this stuff is what's rubbish, what's good. The same problem as a seller. Some of the stuff that I've got is, I know it's worth money. You don't want to take it to a car boot sale because you're going to have to get rid of it for 2 quid, 3 quid, or 4 quid. It's not enough because its value is greater than that. So stuff to go to a car boot sale is stuff you take to a jumble sale. It's like stuff you're quite happy to get a quid for and get rid of it. And people are going along to these car boot sales and they have that mentality. Well, I'm not going to pay more than £1 or more than £2 for anything. It doesn't matter what it is. They're not going to pay more than £2. Something that you value and you think, well, that's worth £3. It's like, I'll give you a quid for it. No, but the right buyer will come along, but it may be at another car boot sale in a month's time. It won't be this one.
At one point, Chris ended up talking to a guy who was looking into the vinyls collection. And somehow the conversation moved from vinyls to Bitcoin.
And the state of the world and crypto and what's the answer. And I must have been there for like an hour and a half. And he was really pleased. He met me and I said, you didn't think to come to a car boot sale and have a conversation about Bitcoin and crypto, did you? And the state of the world. He was really interested in decisions that we were making and because he feels the same way. I don't think there's a lot of people, because how old would you put him at? What would you put him at? Same age as me? And
Yeah, I would say
there aren't
that.
that many people of my age that I can talk to about this stuff. Really, there isn't that many people. So when you do find someone, you tend to hang on to them. When we were coming back from Hungary, once we got a taxi, and the guy started talking to me about crypto in the car. He wanted my phone number and he wanted me to spend a bit of time talking to him about crypto. I rang him up the other day, and no, I didn't ring him up. I sent him a message the other day saying, come June, I might be able to spend a bit of time talking to you about it if you're still interested. And he said,
Yeah.
oh, God, thanks for getting back to me. He couldn't believe it that I did get back to him because, I said I would. And that's what I do, what I say I'm going to do. But most people don't, do they?
Yeah. Let's move on to the next one. What types of sellers can you find at a
Well,
car boot sale?
there are people like us clearing stuff up, really. There are people there, and I was really surprised. But I was thinking, well, who's going to take a van load of stuff? I mean, God, they must have a big house or something. But anyway, the types of sellers, they're people who actually go to clear houses for a living. They get paid to clear houses, or they just go and say, well, we'll take whatever we find out of the house and go off and dump it, or not fly tipping or anything, but just either get rid of it and whatever we make, and they got vans and stuff, and they're going to places. Either it's clearance of a business, or it's clearance of a house. They just empty it out and then they go and sell it at these car boot sales, which I didn't know that there was a business on it. Stuff is not my thing, so I don't really get involved in stuff very often. But there's also people who buying stock for selling at car boot sales. And the other we saw a woman. She didn't get her stuff out of the car. She was just breezing around, seeing what other people had, buying some stuff, and then she put it on her stall. Anyway, it was a good experience. And but the types of sellers, there's all sorts. There's people there who are selling garments and stuff. There's people like us selling, all sorts of things. And there's people who are selling like sweets or something that they're doing as a business, and they offer those stuff out at car boot sales. Yeah, but it's got to be something that's small value. It's because and plenty of it. Like, for example, I bought some magnets for a business, and the magnets are these neodymium magnets. They're very strong, very strong. We were saying to people, what are those things there then? They're magnets. Oh, well, yeah. It is a magnet. It is a bit of metal. There's a magnet. Right, try and take it off. Oh, can't. That's very strong, isn't it? Yeah. How much are they then? They're a pound each. Well, that's quite expensive. Yeah, it's quite strong. But what you've got to do is you've got to find a use for it. So we got a lampshade and we stuck it onto the car with a magnet. So what you got? What's on the car there? Well, it's a light shade.
So it wasn't just a light shade; it was a lamp.
Yeah, it's a light shade and its base held up by one magnet.
Yeah.
That's not held up by one magnet. No, it is. What do you think we're doing? Levitating it? Not with a magnet. Bloody hell, that's unbelievable. And then he ended up buying 27 little ball bearing magnets, which were also the same neodymium, and they were strong, as a bracelet, which Desi had exposed him to and showed him how to make a bracelet. She had a necklace on as well, and a ring as well. And so he ended up buying 27 magnets and £3 for £1. So that's like £9. And we topped it up with a really strong magnet, and he ended up giving us a tenner. But people were complaining, I thought the box would be a tenner. No. If we're selling 3 for £1, then there's about 100 magnets in there. Well, that's 33 quid. It's not £10, is it? Magnets are quite an amusing escape from the cold.
What's for sale?
You've got to be sensible. If you've got something that's worth 15, 20 quid, like for example, I've got a full set of video recording equipment from probably the late 1980s. To somebody who collects photographic equipment and that kind of things from a certain era, like for example, if you were looking for a video recorder for a film set of that era, someone taking a video, you'd need a camera like this to be ethical, to be one for the era of the 1980s, 1990s. So for somebody who's doing film set equipment, then they would need something like this in stock, so when a requirement for it comes up, they're the people to go to hire equipment like this. It's a specialist item. They'd probably say, we'll give you 30 quid, 40 quid, 50 quid for it, because it's worth that for them to have that covered and in stock. But car boots, the most you'll get is 10 quid. If somebody is really interested in that kind of video, they'd pay you probably 10 quid. But you're not going to get what it's worth. So you have to weigh up. Am I going to hold on to it and get what it's worth, or am I just going to let it go because what I'm really interested in doing is getting rid of stuff? Okay, it's not 3 quid, it's 10, but it's not 30 either. But do I hang on for the right price and the right kind of customer, or do I just get shot of it? And it's Yeah, this is the problem.
Yeah, another thing that happened was on the first day we had Chris's mom's chair with handles, with armrests and the back support. And it was one of those medicinal kind of chairs. We were sitting on it because it was a long day. And some of the people, the buyers were having a go at sitting down and having a break as well. On the second day, very first thing in the morning, when somebody comes and asks about it, we sell it. Excellent, we've done that now. And then we start packing around 12 o'clock, and oh, lo and behold, the chairs returned. The chairs appeared from nowhere, or we didn't see when she left it. Obviously, wanted to just use it for the day because she was a seller, she said. She needed a seat. Maybe she didn't have a car, or I don't know what happened, but she obviously didn't want the chair anymore, and it came back. So now we have a chair that we sold, and it's come back like it was a rented chair.
So it's okay that we got a bit of money, but it's not okay that we haven't got the gym.
Now I need to put it on Facebook Marketplace or take it to the next car boot sale if it doesn't sell it in between. And what's our evaluation of the whole situation? What's the conclusion? You already mentioned about deciding whether something is worth to be sold at a car boot sale or in a different way.
We just have to be honest. You make £2 here, £3 there, £1 here, and the longer the day goes on, the less is asked really for everything. I think you have to ask yourself why you doing it. What's the reason for doing it? Is it to turn stuff around, make space for new stuff, and you want to do many more in the future? Or are you just trying to get rid of it? To a certain extent, we are just trying to get rid of it. It's less about how much we make and more about at least someone's going to use it and has value for it rather than just chucking in the bin.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've got that attitude, then you'll find some real bargains at these places because people are going there with the attitude, well, if I get £2 for it, like games of Scrabble. Scrabble's going really well. Well, if someone gets value for £2 and a bit of Scrabble, okay, the box is a bit knackered and that, then £2, another batting tops. Someone's had a great evening and likely to have other great evenings as well, and that's real value for that product.
If anybody's interested, the average of the 2 days was about £70. This is what we made.
But you meet people and you get out and about. If it was warmer, it'd have been better. We can't grumble really. It was fun. It was fun. A bit of hard work. We got up early. It's quite funny because we'd done a full day's work and it was still 12 o'clock.
Thank you for watching all the way to the end. And if you haven't subscribed, please do hit that button. Click the bell as well. It will tell you we've done the next one.
It's very eclectic, this channel. So thanks for watching and sticking with it.
Bye for now.
Bye.